أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear all sisters. Alhamdulillah, we are doing the Tajweed rule for Noon sakinah or tanween, that is Ikhfaa, hiding the sound of Noon with Gunna. So we have learned what are the letters that can come after Noon sakinah or tanween when we do Ikhfaa, hiding the sound of Noon with Gunna. And now let us see how to pronounce, what's the way to pronounce that, the Noon sakinah. The correct pronunciation is obtained by placing the tongue in a position of readiness or to articulate the letter following Noon while holding the Gunna for nearly 2 counts. So we will hold the Gunna for nearly 2 counts equal to 2 haraka. The tip of the tongue should not touch the upper part of the mouth during the Gunna, or else Noon will be evident and not hidden. So Noon will be evident and not hidden, and that it is to be avoided. And now pertaining to Ikhfaa, when a letter of tafkhim or the heavy letter follows the Noon sakinah or tanween, the Gunna takes on the quality of tafkhim, fatness, like the Gunna will be heavy. If the heavy letter comes after the Noon sakinah or tanween, the Gunna will be heavy. And likewise, when a letter of tarqiq, light letters, comes after the Noon sakinah or tanween, the Gunna takes the quality of tarqiq, the Gunna will be heavy. So as you know that the heavy letters are kha, sad, dad, ghain, ta, and qaf and dha. These are the heavy letters, haruf musta'aliya, heavy letters. And out of the Ikhfaa letters, out of the 15 Ikhfaa letters, heavy letters are sad, dad, qaf, tha and dha. These are the heavy letters. So if any of the letters like these letters, any of these letters out of Ikhfaa letters comes after the Noon sakinah or tanween, we will read the Gunna of Noon, making it heavy. And if other than these 5 letters, any other letters that are out of Ikhfaa letters, that are the light letters that come after the Noon sakinah or tanween, we will make the Gunna light while reading the Noon sakinah. So let us see how to pronounce. These are the examples. So let us see how to pronounce when the heavy letter comes after the Noon sakinah or tanween, and when the light letter comes after the Noon sakinah or tanween. For example, the light letters, for example, look at here. This is Jannatun tajri, Jannatun tajri. This is light, like that. And this is untha. This is the light Gunna we are doing. And Ikhfaa we are doing, hiding the sound of Noon sakinah. So look at here. In kadhaba, this is light. Yatiman fa'awa, yatiman, light Gunna we are doing. Andadan man zakkaha, ghafurun shakur. Now see, this is sad, the heavy letter, so we will do Gunna heavy at Noon sakinah, and we will hide the sound of Noon sakinah. Fa, swab, fa, we are making the Noon Gunna heavy sound of Gunna. Fa, like that. Fa, swab. ومن ضل ومن ضل ظلا ظليلا من قبل من, making the noon sound heavy. عملا صالحا عملا, making the gunna of noon sound heavy. So this is the way how we pronounce the gunna, doing the ikhfa of noon sakinah sound. If after that noon sakinah or tanween comes the heavy letters or out of ikhfa letters, we make the gunna heavy, and if there comes the light letters out of the ikhfa letters, we make the gunna light. Now let us see the difference between the ikhfa and idgham. Comparison between the ikhfa and the idgham. You know that idgham is merging. So idgham is of two types, that is with gunna or without gunna. And you know that idgham is after noon sakinah or tanween when comes any letter of the letters yarmalun. The word yarmalun is the key word to remember the letters ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, noon. Any of the letters comes after the noon sakinah or tanween, we merge the sound, so there is a complete merging and an incomplete merging. There is merging with gunna and without gunna. So we have done this before. So let us see the comparison between the ikhfa, hiding the sound of noon sakinah and doing the gunna, and with idgham. We compare with idgham. So firstly, ikhfa occurs in one word or between the two words, but idgham occurs between the two words. Idgham never occurs in between the one word, but it occurs in between the two words. So noon sakinah or tanween will be the last letter of the first word, and any letter out of the yarmalun letters, ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, noon, that will come as a first letter of the next word. Secondly, no shadda on the letter follows noon sakinah or tanween, but in idgham shadda is present. In the case of complete idgham, shadda is always present in the case of complete idgham. And for ikhfa, always with gunna. If ikhfa is always with gunna, but idgham is sometimes with gunna and sometimes without gunna, according to the type of idgham. Idgham is of two types, with gunna and without gunna. Complete idgham and incomplete idgham, complete merging and incomplete merging. So we have done, alhamdulillah, we have learned what is idgham, how we do the merging, and what are the letters we do merging for merging of the noon sound, noon sakinah sound, and where we do complete merging, where we do incomplete merging, where we do gunna with merging and where we do merging without gunna. We have learned all this in the previous lessons, and we have learned the ikhfa. So this is the comparison between the ikhfa and idgham. Hope you understand all this. May Allah accept all our efforts, and may Allah forgive our shortcomings and mistakes. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.